All right, hi everybody. So for today's set of notes, just make sure that as I go through each slide that you are going to pause the video. So either use the mouse to do that or use the space bar of the keyboard to do that, so that you're pausing and giving yourselves time to write, and then you're listening to whatever else I have to say. Please do not just forward through to get the notes, because there's a little bit more information than just what's being written down, and it's going to be valuable for you to learn about. But congratulations, these are our very last set of notes for the entire year. So get ready to buckle down for the SOL as we get closer to that. So today we're going to be talking about the Renaissance, okay? And the Renaissance happens directly after the Middle Ages. So downfall of the Middle Ages include the Crusades. It includes the plague, people losing faith in the church, and the 100 Years' War, okay? So think about the lights coming back on in Europe for the first time in several hundred years, and religion made the world go round. It's still going to be important during this time. It's just not going, they're also going to focus on people. So I'll tell you what to hit on. There is a lot of information in this one. Make sure you get it down. And when you're done, you're going to do the reading that should be handed out to you, and you'll turn that into the box. You'll keep your notes. And then if you have time at the end, I've linked a Quizlet below in the comment section or the description section so that you can start practicing some of your people as we get towards the SOL. Okay, so here we go, early Renaissance artists and writers. So just to review, during the Middle Ages, right, the church is the center of everything. And that was a common theme for us for the last couple of weeks. And the meaning of life is to prepare for death, right? Because you live this horrible peasant life, but if you're a good Catholic, you'll go to heaven. Okay, so art doesn't have any value. Any art that was being done was for the church, and they don't want you to be your own person. Individualism is going to be frowned upon, and that's all going to change once the Renaissance begins. So how does the Renaissance happen? Well, the trade is going to help a lot. In fact, it's going to start in northern Italy because 3 northern Italian cities are going to realize, hey, we can make a lot of money off of this. Conflict helped and hurt at the same time, but with the Crusades, the people in Western Europe were being exposed to all of the works and inventions and technologies of the Arab world and of the Eastern world. Okay, so that actually, they get exposed to this stuff. And because there's trade going on, there's a new constant flow of people and ideas. So Renaissance literally means rebirth. Okay, that's what it means in French. Okay, so please know, and if you can think about this, it's kind of, they're bringing back the classics, which are the styles of the ancient Greeks and the Romans. So lots of emphasis on art and writing. Okay. Now, a word we've talked about a little bit, but we're going to focus on a lot today, is the word secular, meaning that it's worldly and not religious. So while we will see religious images today, we're also going to see images that have nothing to do with religion. Okay, and those are secular images. So a picture of Jesus is a religious picture. A picture of a flower is a secular picture. A picture of me, it depends on if you follow my beliefs or not, but probably secular. Okay. All right, this word you have to know. Humanism. Easy to remember. If you can remember that the Renaissance focuses on humans and the human form and individualism, but especially any of those words with human in them, it's easy to remember humanism. Okay, and that's being concerned with the people, right? Our focus was on the church for so long, and now we're focused on the people. We're going to celebrate individualism, right? And they're going to be supported by wealthy patrons, okay? And these are people who pay money for work to be completed. So if you have a lot of money, you might hire an artist to come paint a picture of your family or your dog or whatever else you want them to paint, or to create a sculpture or something else. Even today, if you support theater or an artist, they would consider you a patron of the arts. So the Renaissance starts in northern Italy, okay? And it starts in these three cities right here: Genoa, Florence, and Venice. Okay, and you'll notice all three of these are on the water. So you have Venice in the Adriatic Sea. Okay, Florence is in the mainland of the Italian peninsula, but it's located on a river that has great access out to the sea. And then Genoa, same thing, okay? And they realize, oh, we should trade. And what starts to happen is the very first banks start to pop up around the 1400s in northern Italy. And for the first time, people can borrow money, okay? And banks serve a much bigger purpose than just holding onto your money, right? If you need to buy a house or a car, or you need to go to school, right, and take out student loans, a bank can finance that for you, okay? So I just bought a house this year. I didn't have the money to pay cash for a house. What I did was I got a loan from the bank, or a mortgage from the bank, and they pay for the house and I pay the bank back over the next 30 years. How does the bank make money off of that? Well, they charge interest. So for every $100 that I took out in a loan, I'm going to have to pay back $5. Okay? And over time, when you're dealing with lots of money, that adds up. But there were no banks prior to this, okay? So people have credit. Now people can start businesses, and the economy starts to come back to northern Italy. Okay. The Renaissance is aided by the Johannes Gutenberg's printing press. Now, why is this important? Johannes Gutenberg was from where Germany is, and comes up with an idea to facilitate an easier way to print copies of things. So now books are easier to access because they can be mass produced. It's still a long, slow, and tedious process, but it's a heck of a lot faster than handwriting everything. And religion is still really important, so I bet you can guess what the first book that was printed. And if you said the Bible, you were correct, okay? And now they can mass distribute things, right? That's why things that are made in a factory oftentimes cost cheaper than something that's been handmade, because you can make it quicker, more efficiently, and you can be ready to sell your merchandise easier. This is going to help spread ideas all across Europe. All right, into the artists. So this is a lot like our contributors, where you need to know who did what. Okay, it's easy to remember who a lot of our artists are. If you are familiar with the Ninja Turtles, they all share names with Renaissance artists. Now, we're not going to talk about Raphael, and I don't think Splinter was actually a painter, but Leonardo, Michelangelo, and who am I leaving out? This is embarrassing, because now I'm not going to be able to think about it. Donatello? Is that who it is? I promise I have a degree in this. Okay, the Renaissance artist. Leonardo da Vinci is amazing. They called him a polymath, which means that you are well educated in a number of areas, okay? And that was very much valued during the Renaissance. And he's known for two paintings in particular, the Mona Lisa and the Last Supper, okay? And that's what he looked like there on the right. So the Mona Lisa. Listen, I'm going to level with you guys. I don't understand art. You know what I mean? Like, this picture, it's nice. It's of a lady. Why is this picture so famous? Why is it so revered? Well, there's a few reasons why. The first one is we're not quite sure who this is. There are theories including that it's just somebody random, that somebody famous maybe got this commissioned, or there's even a wild theory that this is actually Da Vinci and this is how he saw himself. Okay? Whatever you think, that's fine. Okay? And part of it is the mystery, right? If you look at her expression, it's hard to kind of decide how she's feeling, right? And part of the reason is because she doesn't have any eyebrows. Okay? Our eyebrows help express ourselves, right? I know all of you know a girl that has plucked her eyebrows way too thin and she looks angry all of the time, right? Because we can read expressions by people's eyebrows, okay? So the fact that she's missing that right there, it's very hard to tell, is she smiling? Is she angry? Is she amused by something? Another reason why it's mysterious, or a feature about it, is that if you were to walk in front of this picture, her eyes follow you. It's very creepy. Give it a shot. And we're just not quite sure who it is. Now, there's a lot of interesting facts about this picture. My favorite one is that it's not very big. It's not as big as you think it is. Like, I thought this was a massive picture. If you look at the Last Supper picture at the front of the room, it's probably about that size with the frame, okay? And it's in the Louvre, which is in France. It's a museum, and it's ridiculous because you'll see pictures of people trying to take pictures of this picture, and everyone's crowded around this tiny little picture, and they're all trying to snap cell phone pictures. It's ridiculous, okay? And this image was actually stolen in the 1920s, but the problem with stealing priceless, famous art is that what do you do with it? Because even if you're able to sell it on the black market, and somebody purchases it, what's that person going to do? If they put it in their house, either people won't believe that it's the real thing, or they will, and then you'll be arrested. Okay, so it was actually returned untouched. It is under lock and key, that is for sure. Okay, so that is the Mona Lisa. Again, you need to know that that is by Leonardo da Vinci. Okay, The Last Supper. Oh, let me go back. Is this a religious painting or a secular painting? Okay, it's a secular painting. Excellent. Okay. The Last Supper, we've seen this before. This is painted on actually a wall. It's a mural. And it's depicting the Last Supper of Jesus and the apostles before he was to be crucified. Okay. Then this is just a big famous piece of art. And there's a lot of mystery around, like maybe who the people are. Some people think that this person is a woman and wondering who that could be. A lot of conspiracy around this painting. And the interesting part is it's famous, it's worldwide, but again, Da Vinci paints this 1,500 years after this event happened. So he wasn't sitting across from the table from them when this happened, right? This is just a depiction out of his own imagination. Okay. He was also a scientist and an inventor and a mathematician. He was interested in human anatomy and flying machine. Okay. And I should have said this at the beginning, but because they're focused on the human body so much, there is a fair amount of nudity in some of these images that we're going to see today. Okay. It's art. I'm not going to censor it because it's something that we should see. Just try to be grown-ups about this. Okay? So he studies human anatomy. So he's actually cutting people open to see how the muscles are built in. This is a diagram of an arm. Okay, this person was lifting some weights. This is a very in-shape person right here. Okay, this is the Vitruvian Man, and it demonstrates the golden ratio that are found in human bodies. What this is demonstrating is your wingspan, so the distance from the tip of your finger here to the tip of your finger here, is actually right about how tall you are. Okay? All right, so I'm running out of time on this video. It's been about 15 minutes. So I want you to try to figure out what this is saying, and then we'll pick it up. So you want to go to part 2 at this time.